Hi everyone, my name is Adam Ackerman. I am a nutritional supplements business owner. I've been selling supplements since 2013, and I am super excited to share with you for the first time a company called Nutralink, founded by two of my good friends, a couple of individuals that I've known for the past 4 or 5 years and actually got me started in the business supplying me my products. But at that time, they were working for other companies. They had their own company. But recently, I would say in the last 8 or 9 months, they've started a new company called Nutralink. And I really believe it's going to revolutionize the way vitamin nutritional supplement companies such as myself, whether you sell on Amazon, online, retail, is going to help you source products. And what I mean by that is, for the longest time, my number one frustration really wasn't actually selling the product. It was dealing with the inefficiencies, the late delivery times, trying to find and source the right products from the right manufacturer at the right price, making sure the quality of the ingredients was there. I mean, I wasn't able to physically go because I'm not large enough to scale. I have a good sized business, but I'm not, in major box stores, retail chains. So I'm not going to each and every supplier, making sure that everything's dialed in, that they're GMP certified, making sure the lab is FDA approved. Didn't have time to do all that stuff. But having said that, Nutralink is the new way to basically source your products. What I like to do is introduce James and Dana Van Brocklin, two great guys. And thanks so much, guys, for putting this little quick PowerPoint presentation on for us today, because I think it's going to be really insightful for a lot of people.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. Thanks for having us today.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, absolutely. So I think let's dive in. Let's show everybody what you're working on, how this is a game changer, and I just want to get as much exposure for you guys as you can, because you've really helped me exponentially grow my business. And I'll do a little wrap up at the end, but show them what you're doing, and then I'll kind of finish up.
Well, appreciate it. Again, thanks for taking the time today to help us with this. Just a little background about us. We're both living in Greenville, South Carolina, and basically I've owned and operated label marketing arms for several U.S. manufacturers, and have actually owned my own facility. And so we have a lot of experience. Dana joined. I started about 10 years ago. Dana joined me shortly after that, and basically our involvement has been on both ends of this business. We've worked a lot with the retailers on e-commerce, so we know what their needs are. And at the same point, we've worked in the manufacturing side for many years, to where we really know the pain points that drive most of these people. And we have a lot of invaluable insight that we kind of, an experience we've had over the years to try to help people navigate through some of these problems.
Oh, well, great. Why don't you go ahead and share your screen and we can get started? That makes sense.
Okay.
All right, great. We can I can see your screen. Perfect.
All right. We're trying to get it here to skip. Okay, so basically Nutralink was born and designed to be more of a transparent lab direct experience, and help, again, clients kind of manage these pitfalls in this industry, and kind of at the same time create a roadmap so that these clients can find what they need and have their orders ran a whole lot smoother. And this is basically our first slide that we wanted to spend a little more time about, because these are more of the pain points that are happening that most of you have experienced.
Yeah, the first one, manufacturing delays, in our experience, is the #1 threat and the #1 problem for retail sellers. Many times it's catastrophic. So there's a few things that we've done to address that. We've created processes within the different manufacturers that help with this. Because we have multiple labs that we work with, we also, before we even take an order, we address who has the capacity and the workflow to even handle the order. The other thing is we make sure and we find out which facility actually has like raw materials on hand versus having to order them. So there's a a lot of different things that we do in this process to help. The other thing is we understand both sides. We understand what the retail needs are, and we understand the labs, and we marry those together, eliminating a lot of the delays.
Another pain point that a lot of experience is that a lot of times your orders are treated as a low priority. And so, it's sometimes very hard to get the attention if it's a smaller order, if you're a smaller customer. And so basically what Nutralink has kind of put together is a way to help with that. A lot of times when your order kind of falls in that 1,000 to 5,000 MLQ category, this is really more so considered to the manufacturer as a filler order. And so a lot of times they use that to kind of fill in when their production time is down, their equipment is down. And so a lot of times it's hard to get that attention or to get that process done to where it goes out on a regular manufacturing basis. So Nutralink basically helps this because we have contacts and relationships with the owners and a lot of the key players at these facilities. We know how to approach these labs. We know how to communicate with these labs. And we get the cooperation that we need. We understand what their requirements are. And then, of course, we understand what the retailer's needs are. And so basically with our collective buying, a lot of these small jobs can kind of be put together under one umbrella. And thus we kind of create a buying group, which helps us to negotiate better pricing. A lot of times, if it's similar orders, we'll put these together. Let's say it's curcumin. And if they're smaller orders, we'll bring them into sometimes one facility that fits everyone's needs so that we can get a better pricing on the raw materials, which then again, of course, benefits everyone.
Yeah. The next point we have there is competitive pricing. And I think it goes without saying, getting the right price and getting a competitive price is critical. We basically do this in 4 ways. The first is we have around 25 manufacturing facilities. So that gives us some freedom to have those options. The second thing is we match up raw material companies and our sources for raw materials with the best lab, and balancing that out can also produce a better price. We also, as James just mentioned, combine smaller orders, and this allows us to get volume discounts. And then overall, just a general discount because of the amount of business we do collectively as a group, we get bigger discounts with the labs. So that's the
next one, just to kind of touch on, is poor quality, failing third-party tests. Quality is a concern for most in the industry, and sometimes finding a manufacturer that focuses on quality sometimes can be a challenge. And so what Nutralink does is we actually visit these facilities regularly, and we audit these manufacturers, which helps basically save you a ton of money. Most clients don't have the time to be able to run around to all these facilities and determine, well, what's the best manufacturer? Which ones are clean? Which ones are compliant? Which ones have the capacity to fill the project that they have? And so we do all that for you, which is really unique in the industry, and especially for our international clients, it really helps those that can't get overseas as regular to have that extra assurance and quality by us being able to be, hands-on, and we see with our own eyes, and we're able to give them that kind of assurance. So that's definitely something. And again, these labs have to meet standards that we have. And sometimes if these labs don't perform in a timely manner, then they're not always on one of our recommended lists.
Good. Labels and compliance. In our experience, that's one of the biggest causes for delays is breakdown in communication in the label process. So we have a team for the graphic process, FDA process, that basically eliminates a lot of these problems. We work directly with the employees within the lab, the QC managers within the lab, and because, again, we understand exactly what they need, when they need it in the process of the order, we can then work with our retailers and help them, communicate those information so you're not losing weeks on meaningless back and forth. So has made a huge difference to our customers and is a critical component in successful manufacturing.
And that's what we've learned, that a lot of these labs translate that 21 CFR FDA book and those guidelines for compliance sometimes a little different. So it's knowing, what labs are willing to kind of work with you in some of your marketing claims. And so we really have a good feel and a good relationship with these labs that will help us with that. The next one on our list here on our slide is managing multiple labs. For some, it takes a lot of time management out of your schedule to be able to talk to all these labs if you've got things strung out all over the country. And so, we kind of streamline that process and we become the communicators. Part of our daily routine is having meetings and discussions with these labs every week when it comes time to your project. And so we're literally on the phone with project managers, QC, formulators, whoever we, are involved with determining the problem. We actually spend a lot of time communicating. And what happens is if there is a problem or we get alerted, let's say packaging's a problem or a raw material didn't pass the test, which can cause delays, we actually know about this right away and can expedite these problems because we have that regular communication and that partnership. And so each week we represent your business, we manage your order. It's an open discussion with these labs, and that's a big service that a lot of clients really appreciate.
Absolutely. The next point we have there is on packaging and the challenges that come with it. Market saturation is a big threat right now to retailers. So they're looking for ways to make their products different and to have diversity. And so a lot of times the manufacturers don't have time or they just aren't willing to put those pieces together. We have multiple packaging facilities that we work with and contract with to help bring in more diversity to your product line. And that's another service we offer is to help you, bring those things together that aren't always easily done. So.
The next one's labs limited with certification. We kind of live in a market now that's changing. It's demanding clean, natural, no fillers, no excipients, non-GMO. Of course, organic is on the rise. And so many of our customers are looking for materials and new ways to kind of set themselves apart. And so if you're kind of only with one lab, sometimes that's very limiting on the new products that you can launch. We work with all kinds of labs with certifications, the USDA organic certifications, and there's a measure of other agencies under the USDA, such as Certified Organic, CCOF, groups like that we can actually help our customers get their products certified with whatever they're trying to accomplish, even sports nutrition as well.
Good. The next point we have there is on filler and excipients. And what we found is consumers are becoming much, much smarter with what are in these products that they're taking. They're reading the fine print, so to speak. And so we do a really good job of working with the manufacturers to try to make products without fillers, use more natural ingredients, not to use things, mag stearate, for example. The reason a lot of these are used is it makes the machines work faster. It makes the product work easier. So we help negotiate and push back on some of that so you can have a cleaner label, cleaner product. And that's the direction that the market's going. So that's another service that we've come a long way with recently.
Another pain point on our list today is formula not working in product tuning. Basically, obviously, a lot of people we come across are tired of buying the same product everyone else has. And obviously there's facilities out there that accommodate that if you have smaller MLQs, but next thing you know, you have 20, 30 people on some of these platforms selling the same, type of formula, and they have the same supplement facts. So we really help people customize, and that's really what we specialize in. And nowadays it's all about reviews. And so that's an important part of the e-commerce side. So we really try to help people by creating a solution. We have an on-staff chief formulator that's a doctor that helps people really understand the ingredients and how they can actually make their product better and more effective. We also connect you with all of these labs that we have. There's chemists and people with MDs and PhDs and formulators that we can actually use at our disposal for helping our clients to either overcome a problem or just even coming up with a formulation. So So that's one area that we can really try to help people with that problem.
Yeah, absolutely. The next one's on documentation. When I deal with new customers, that's a consistent complaint is they feel like they're chasing paperwork from the manufacturers. And it's not that the manufacturers don't want to give it. It's just, there's a lot of processes in developing these documents. So that's one thing we help immensely with is knowing how to get the documents, getting them quickly. We recognize that in some cases, you not having these documents shuts your business down and your cash flow stops. So that's a huge priority for us is helping you get the documentation you need quickly.
Another pain point is just plain old communication. That seems to be something that everybody experiences. Sometimes working direct with a lab, it can take days or weeks to be able to get an answer. And so that is really something that we try to streamline and create a better communication path so that way the customers can get the answers faster and quicker. We realize and understand that a lot of these labs, they're great at manufacturing, but they don't always have the dedicated employees and resources to offer the kind of customer service that some customers and clients may need. So understanding that about our manufacturers, we really understand how they behave, how they think, how they operate. And we work directly, again, with these key managers and owners so that things, don't get delayed. Obviously, things can go wrong. Raw material can not test out right in the middle of getting ready to go to production. And obviously, that creates a problem. So having that good customer communication is really a big staple of what we do. We become a liaison for you in a manufacturer.
Yeah, the next point is limited buying power. Essentially, sometimes you can't get the price you want, and sometimes you can't get the product you need because the minimum order is there. So that's another thing our company Nutralink helps with. We do this in a couple of ways. One, we use we take multiple orders and we kind of can help people have lower queue opportunities. And then sometimes we get price breaks just based on the volume of putting together. Turmeric, for example, there's a lot of people that have that in common. We can buy some of these ingredients in bulk. And then, of course, with everything, with many things going through our company, it also allows us just to have overall, buying power to get certain things done that maybe a smaller retailer wouldn't be able to get. So.
And the last one on this particular slide today is on meeting Amazon requirements. And we know, of course, Amazon's constantly have ever-changing rules. And so we really try to stay ahead of those. Of course, we learn about a lot of these with our clients. And the minute something has changed or a policy has changed, we are on the phone right away with the lab so that they can adjust their SOPs and their processes so that we can get things out the door and expedite it more quickly. The last thing anybody wants is their product to be done and then it sits on the dock for days when it needs to be at the Amazon warehouse. So there's a lot of things that we really can help manage on that. The next slide that we have, we're going to talk real briefly, Adam, about the three basically programs or platforms that you could say that we have. And we'll take just a couple minutes and kind of go through these. But our first platform is the White Glove Service Direct program. And basically, it covers a lot of the things that we just basically went through, the benefits and services that we offer. This platform was really designed for customers who need more assistance. Maybe they're new to the industry. Maybe they're actually very seasoned in this industry, and they just need somebody to handle all aspects of the manufacturing so that they can focus on marketing, which is what they're good at. So this particular platform is a full turnkey platform. Everything runs through Nutralink, from the billing to the contracts to the customer service to the compliance to helping with formulations, designing the labels from scratch, packaging, logistics, shipping, and fulfillment. So as you can see from the different bullet points, there's quite a few things here that we offer under that. Now, the second platform, that's an interest of a lot more seasoned e-commerce retailers, is this U.S. Domestic Direct program. Basically, this was designed to again, for the more seasoned, experienced retailers who can meet a lot of the MOQ requirements with these labs, that already have systems in place and understand manufacturing, but it's very simple. We basically take your product and what your needs are, and we match you again with the best direct fit. And it's very transparent. You know who the manufacturer is. You have access to manufacturer. We can connect you with the different parties that need to be discussed. But we basically help you through this whole process. You'll actually wind up paying your invoices, and your paperwork is direct with the lab, but we still come in and assist you. We're still the liaison between the lab and you. And one of the most common questions we actually get when we talk about this program is, you know, how are you compensated? And so we've actually, over the having years of partnerships with these people and these owners of these facilities, we've negotiated contracts with the manufacturing partners, and we work within existing margins so that the manufacturing lab, whatever they have put already in their sales and in their marketing budget, that's what we work within. So in the end, you're buying it at the same cost that you would be going direct, other than you're getting a ton of help and customer service. The labs are really enjoying this because that's an area that a lot of times they need some help with. And if nothing else, sometimes the prices are even better because of the way we've been able to negotiate the deal and the raw materials.
The last platform we have is specific for international customers. And, you know, again, covering many of the things we talked about, some of the things in the other two programs, with a key few differences. One is we offer a international escrow option, or basically a trust account. You know, international customers, the banks are different, the governments are different, the paperwork's done differently. So to give security to these customers, we set up this option so that they know that the money's protected, and they're going to get their product. We also, by the way, offer that trust account or escrow option to our U.S. customers. The other key thing that we do with our international program is we focus heavily on the logistics and the paperwork that it takes to get the products to different parts of the world. Having multiple facilities allows us to line people up with the manufacturers that really have experience and know how to get the products into different parts of the world. And then the last point there is, you know, some of the certifications, having that diversity in that respect, also, you know, halal, kosher, things of that nature, makes a big difference. So in conclusion, you know, the first thing it talks about there is, you know, having the right labs fight for your business. And that's not always just price. It's really for every aspect of your order, you know, to let that natural leverage kind of work for you. You know, as far as who we know, you know, we consider ourselves partners in problem solving. No matter what you're trying to do or resolve, we know somebody that we can bring in and get you to the easy button. A big one is we give you a transparent experience. We're not like a lot of companies out there that are kind of pretending to be the manufacturer. We give access, we give transparency, so you feel comfortable and you feel informed. You know, back to the leverage and buying power. It's a simple, proven concept. There's strength in numbers, and we have a vehicle here in which we can do that. You know, the partnership with the owners and the key people within the facility. You know, the old saying, it's not always, you know, what you know, but who you know. And we don't just know these people. I mean, we have daily, we work with these folks and have trusted relationships, which is just invaluable when you're trying to get business done. You know, this one is one for our customers that they really like. One contact for all the needs. When you get out of bed and you have 20 manufacturing issues facing you, would you rather make 20 calls or one call? That's our concept. Regularly audit, James mentioned this, we audit the facilities. This gives our customers peace of mind knowing that we have eyes on the facility that's making their products, ensuring that the quality is there. It also, you know, saves you time and money to not have to go and set this up and you know, have a sense of if you can trust where your products are being made. Again, on product tuning formulations, you know, with market saturation, it's one of the biggest challenges facing retailers right now. We understand this. That's why, as mentioned, we have an in-house formulator chemists, and we spend a lot of time helping people come up with unique product ideas, something that's different. You know, competitive pricing, and we talked about working within the existing margins for sales and service. But we also, you know, again, we link raw material companies, packaging companies, logistics. We bring all that together within the network to try to find the perfect scenario that's you know, organically comes together, and that's not, you know, not forced. And the last one there is unlimited product capabilities, and there's a couple points with that. You know, back to saturation being an issue. You know, whether it's gummies, stick packs, skincares, liquids, things you want to add to your line. You know, we have all that within our network because of our model. And then the other thing that it allows us to do is scale up and scale down quickly. You're not using just one option as a facility. And we really have the pulse on who can kind of handle those, you know, that scalability, regardless of which direction it's going. So in conclusion, Nutralink was really formed on 4 basic pillars. The first is trust and transparency. I think that goes without saying that has to be there. The last 2 pillars, we feel, are the very core goal of what every business owner really wants. We passionately formed every aspect of our company around these, and they are to save our customers time and money. That's really our mission, our vision. This is our culture as a company, and this is really what we do. So I think, you know, that gives a kind of a high level, you know, picture, hopefully, what our company can do.
There's a lot of information quickly.
Yeah, great. So why don't you stop sharing your screen and we can have a little more dialogue around this. I've been taking a ton of notes, and what's amazing to me is that as much as I already know about the business model, yes, perfect, leave this up. For as much as I already know about the business model, how many little things I didn't realize that, you know, value adds that you guys provide. I think the most important thing to understand is that you know, in order to work with you, there's no additional cost, okay, associated with me trying to pick up the phone and calling 25 separate labs. What you've done is you've in essence consolidated, and you've put together a network of labs that you already have an existing relationship with, that you've already been to, seen, and certified, and that you can now take a formulation or an idea that I have, you can farm it out to 25 of these labs, or let's say 10 of them or 5 of them are a perfect fit for what I'm looking to accomplish, and you come back to me, you know, like 4 or 5 days later with pricing from all 5 of these labs. And then we have a conversation around what that looks like. And then you say, okay, you know, here's the pros and cons of each lab. Turnaround time on lab A might be 6 weeks, but their price is 10 cents or 15 cents cheaper per bottle. And then we say, well, lab B, you know, they're a 4-week turnaround time, but they're 25 more cents per bottle. And then we have a conversation. And what I love about working with you guys is it's very team-centric, which means you're vested in my business. You guys really care about helping me grow and scale and making sure that I'm profitable and allowing us to grow, because that in turn will give you guys more business. And that's not the only reason you do it. It's just kind of, you know, the kind of guys you are, the kind of business that you're running. But I appreciate that as a business owner. So I can see what my options are, and then I can pick lab A, let's say if that's what I want to go with. And then you guys take it from there, and you work with the lab, you set up pricing, you kind of get everything else going, and you manage that entire process from the beginning to the end, which is what I absolutely love. So if anyone wants to contact you guys, please make sure you go to NutraLinkUSA.com and that you connect with James and Dana, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. They've done wonders for me and my business. So thanks again for your time. Any more questions, contact those guys. They'll be happy to get back with you as soon as possible.